everybody. I have radiation in an hour and I have no makeup on and my hair is falling out. You probably can't see it too much yet, but when I lift up layers, you can see it for sure coming out in clumps. So I know I'm not looking my best, but as I said in one of my last videos, I totally believe that we are not our looks, we are not our bodies, so it really doesn't matter. I just wanted to give a video on my thoughts about death, which really have to do with my thoughts about life too. And I was asked by my best friend from the 6th grade, Nancy Kelly, who's also dealing with stage 4 cancer, you know, what my thoughts were about that. And so I'll tell you, I have some pretty deep thoughts about it. You might not think they're deep, but you know, to me they're deep. They're very strong thoughts. So they come from a couple of places. So one of them was when I started my spiritual journey and was just reading about the world, and I had also gone vegan a long time ago. And so, you know, I first went vegan. The very first reason I went vegan was because I was trying to lose weight and picked up a vegan book thinking it was a weight loss book, and it wasn't. It was called Diet for a New America by John Robbins. And, you know, I did lose weight and went vegan. And, you know, as time went on, I started reading more and more vegan books, and a lot of them go quite deep into nothing to do with diet, but like how we're treating the animals on this planet and how this, you know, these industries like chickens and eggs and dairy and everything, how it's affecting the environment. And it's stunning, you know, nothing I'm going to get into here, but it made me start caring about things like the environment, which I had never cared about before. I knew other people were, but I didn't care. You know, oh, I'm not doing that bad. It can't be that bad. Yeah, it was really bad. And most of us Americans are really harming the environment greatly, and we don't really realize the extent to how we're doing it. And so as I learned more and more about that, I just became more and more aware of the environment, and I slowed down, and I would notice the leaves more, I would notice the trees more, the plants, the animals, and everything. And I remember one day, I think I was on Maui when this happened, I was walking by these plants, and I stopped, and I was looking at this leaf. And, you know, my memory's not great now, so I'm probably going to lose part of the story, but the point was, when I looked at this leaf, I had read a book recently about what plants do, you know, how they take in carbon dioxide and they spew out oxygen for us. You know, it's just, and how they grow and all the chemicals that are in them that are creating life around them and feeding all the animals around them. I mean, I was just looking at this leaf and stunned at the power of a leaf and how it's literally keeping us humans alive. If we didn't have trees on this earth, we would not be alive, because the whole place would be taken over by carbon dioxide and there would be no oxygen to breathe. So, you know, when you start cutting down all the trees on your property, start thinking about these things. You know, that was the take-home message I got. And I was just stunned at what was going on. And so I just sat there in complete awe with this leaf. And I realized, like, wow, these leaves, they're usually gone in 6 to 9 months. You know, they're born, if you will, in the spring, and they make it through the summer, and sometime in the fall or early winter they die. And that's kind of what everything on this planet's doing, including you and me. And our society does not like to talk about death, but it's happening continuously all around us. And so that birth and death is just this constant thing that's going on and on and on. And we like to think we're different because we're humans. But in fact, we are different. There's no doubt about it. And in some ways, you know, we have superior things, like our brains are absolutely phenomenal. But you and I can't just fly over to the store in 5 minutes like the birds can. You know, we can't swim across the ocean like the whales can. We don't have, what is it that, I can't remember the word that bats have, you know, where they have like radar detection or something. We don't have those things, you know. So we're not better than all the animals on this planet. We're just a different kind of animal on this planet, and we all belong here and we all have our place, but we humans are pretty much taking over, and we're causing a lot of damage to other life forms. And so that was one part of my spiritual journey with death and really understanding that we're all part of it and we're all coming and we're all going. The other part of it came from research. And those of you who know me know that I worked in medical research for about 20 years, and I like my science. I like to see what the data show. And there was a book that came out. There's a bunch of information about this, but University of Virginia Child Psychiatry Department has been doing research for decades on all these children that claim that they used to be someone else in another life. And it's funny because we don't talk about that here in the States, but that's happening all over, you know, countries like in the Far East and India and China and places where they believe in reincarnation. That's a normal thing. You know, if a child says, hey, I used to be, you know, great grandpa Joe, everybody goes, oh, cool, you know. In our country, we're like, that's crazy, you guys are nuts. But that's just because we have a different set of beliefs. But what I found is I've talked about this with people, is the number of people who have told me, wow, I can't believe you're talking about this. You know, we've never talked about this out of the family, but our son or our daughter did the same thing. And we just said, oh, aren't you cute? Oh, you're so funny. And we just blew it off. But now you got me wondering, like, wow, is this possible? So there's a really great book out there called Life Before Life. I think the guy's name who wrote it is Raymond Moody. He's an MD, PhD. So those of you who are into science like I do and you respect those difficult degrees to get, he is now an MD, PhD. And the research they've been doing over there is incredible. Started by a guy named Ian Stevenson. So I highly recommend that book. Even if you're Christian, you don't believe in reincarnation, that's fine. You know, you don't have to believe in it. But it is a really interesting book and gets you thinking. And so based on those things, just my own kind of reflection on the world and then what some of the science is saying about reincarnation, I feel pretty good. Not like I'm happy to die. I don't want to go. I'm not wanting to go at all right now, but I'm okay with it. I'm totally okay with it because I really do believe in my heart of hearts that we're all coming and going, whether we're humans or any other creature or life form. And I also believe that, this is my personal belief, because now I do believe in reincarnation based on the science. I believe I'm going to come right back with all those people close to me. And every time I've met somebody who, like, the minute you meet them, I had someone in high school like this, and I doubt he's watching because we're not friends on Facebook, but if he is, he'll know who he is. Like, the minute we laid eyes on each other, it was like we knew each other for decades, for years, for lifetimes. It was like we didn't even say a word, and it was like we just couldn't stop staring at each other, and we couldn't explain why. And it wasn't just a, hey, you're hot, you know. It was like there's something deeper there. And I've had that experience many times in my lifetime, not as deep as that one was. I have a feeling he and I might have gone back many lifetimes. But, you know, I've met people on planes and things, and not just nice people that you get along with and have good conversations with, but there's something deeper there. And you just can't name it. And I now believe, and I didn't used to, but I now believe that that's probably because we've gone around in other lifetimes before. So those are, again, all my personal beliefs, and they're beliefs. You know, I can't know that they're true. That's the definition of a belief. It's not a fact, it's a belief. So, but you know, all religion is beliefs right now. So whether you're Christian or Buddhist, whether you believe in reincarnation or not, heaven or hell or whatever, they're all beliefs. And so I think it's good if we approach it all with an attitude of openness and just see, you know, where we fall. And I have to say I have fallen quite a ways away from my upbringing in the Christian religion, but I also believe that I'm either all religions or I'm no religions. I don't care what you call it, but I'm also a big fan of mystical Christianity. So it doesn't really matter to me where it's coming from. I cherish it all. So anyway, I hope for those of you who are kind of curious about my thoughts on death and my beliefs about it and everything, I hope that was helpful. And again, no judgment wherever you're standing. It's all our own choices of what we choose to believe. So, but I would suggest that you make your own choices. You don't just glom on to whatever your parents taught you. You know, our parents and our family and our culture mean well, and they want to raise the kids well, so we bring them up and we take them to church or whatever we do, take them to the synagogue. But I think there really needs to be a time in each person's life where they stop and they reflect and they say, is this what I truly believe in my own heart? And if it's not, then figure out what it is, and find your own path. And oftentimes that path might take you right back to where your parents brought you up in the first place, but it is good to just learn and uncover on your own. All right, love you guys.